Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shop Breakdown. We're going to go over 4 college basketball games for Sunday, January 15th, 2023. Now, if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, you can always find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. Alrighty, let's get into it. Here are the games for Sunday in college basketball. First up, we have the game of the day on Sunday. It's Marquette and Xavier. This one, 12 o'clock Eastern on Fox. Both offenses are top 10 in adjusted offensive efficiency. They're number 2 and 3 in effective field goal percentage, and they're both red-hot teams. Marquette is 6-1 in conference play. They're on a 5-game win streak, which includes a win over UConn. Xavier on a 10-game win streak. They're 6-0 in conference play. They have a win over UConn. Very, very impressive stuff from these two teams. There's no surprise that they're both ranked in the AP Top 25. Now, this is a game where it's one I wanted to cover because it's such an entertaining game on paper. In terms of betting value, I don't see a ton of it, but I do think Marquette would be the side I lean towards. This is a Marquette team. It's number 1 in the nation in 2-point field goal percentage, and they're scoring a lot more sustainable buckets than they did last year, and that's important. This is a very talented front court with a lot of really good forwards that can score from all over on the court, but they're focusing on those more sustainable high percentage jumpers and inside the paint, which I think is going to help them out quite a bit in this game, as Xavier is going to be able to score. We know that. Very good shooting team. They're 3rd in the country in 3-point shooting, but Xavier does take a lot of low percentage shots, and they've made a good amount of them this season. But if this is going to be a back and forth game, I want to take the team that's going to be able to score those buckets, a team that takes care of the basketball, forces a lot of turnovers, and that's Marquette. They also, I believe, have the better coach in this game in Shaka Smart. I'm going to take Marquette in this game. It's going to be a great one. Give me the Golden Eagles. Next up, we go to the American Conference as Memphis takes on Temple. This one, 3 o'clock Eastern, ESPN2. Memphis coming off a tough loss to UCF, 107-104, double overtime on the road. Memphis has struggled in their true road games this season. They started with a nice win over Vanderbilt in the first game of the year, 76-67. Since then, they have not won a true road game. They lost to St. Louis, Alabama, Tulane, and UCF. Not bad company. All those teams are top 100 teams in KenPom, unlike this Temple Owls team. And I do think Temple is quite a bit overrated right now. We saw Temple at the beginning of the season pull off those big upsets over Villanova and Rutgers. But to be honest, I just don't think that those wins really tell the full story for how this team is playing now. You lost to Maryland Eastern Shore not too long ago, and you pushed against Tulsa 76-72. The final number was at -4. But in that game, you shot 10 of 30 from 3, which is 33%. Not too great, not too shabby. But Tulsa on the other side, 6 of 27, 22%. You had a 10% advantage over Tulsa. You barely beat them in the end. That's a Tulsa team that was really struggling both against the number and straight up. So now you play a really good defense in Memphis. Pretty well-coached team as well. It's good on offense as well, at 40th ranked in adjusted offensive efficiency. Pretty good shooting team. It's good on the offensive glass. I don't like this matchup at all for Temple. I like Memphis in this one to get a bounce-back win and their first road win since November 7th. So give me Memphis laying the points. Next up, it's Missouri State and Indiana State in the Missouri Valley Conference. This one's going to be 3 o'clock Eastern on ESPN+. I do think that Indiana State has really benefited from a weak schedule. You look in the conference and non-conference play. Overall, they're ranked 329th in strength of schedule. Missouri State played the 74th toughest non-conference schedule. Overall this season, 126th. And I think the Missouri State defense is better than Indiana State's overall. I also like the fact that Missouri State is the better rebounding team, particularly in offensive rebounding, where Indiana State's been one of the worst teams in the country. And, look at Missouri State's offense. I think it's underrated right now. It's not a great start to the season shooting the basketball, that's for sure. But they're able to get those second chance looks, and they're playing a pretty weak defense in Indiana State. Missouri State's off back-to-back losses, one of those an overtime loss. So we're getting a good price here with Missouri State because of those results, because of the records, 8-9 overall compared to 13-5. On paper, it looks like Indiana State is the better team, but I think the better team is the home side. So give me Missouri State here. In this one, I'm going to lay the points with the Bears. Next up, we see South Florida and East Carolina. This one's going to be 1 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. South Florida's on a 4-game losing streak, all 4 of those games in conference play. But I will say, this is a South Florida team that at the beginning of the season had really bad numbers shooting the ball, really inefficient offense. But now, when you look at their last 2 true road games against Memphis and Houston, 2 teams that we know are known for their defense, South Florida put up 86 points against Memphis and 77 points against that Houston Cougars defense. really impressive in my opinion. And now you go on the road against East Carolina, a lot more feasible of a spot for South Florida, both offensively and defensively. I think this is a pretty good spot for the Bulls, who are a good rebounding team offensively, to grab a win on the road. And we're getting a couple points here with South Florida as the road dog. At the beginning of the season, like I mentioned, this was an offense that was super inefficient, but the defense was always there. Now the defense is starting to slip a little bit, but the offense is starting to pick it up. I think if you're South Florida, you'll take that kind of trade, as your offense was in really bad shape at the beginning of the season. East Carolina is not in good form either. They're starting to give up a lot of shots from the perimeter, and overall their shooting numbers have really struggled. 273rd in the country in effective field goal percentage. I think South Florida takes this one on the road. I think they're the more physical team and the better front court. So give me the Bulls here. I'm going to take them on the money line. And that's it. Those are the games for Sunday in college basketball. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bet, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.